Hey, what's up, everybody? How's everyone doing? Can I get a yay or a nay on the audio? I haven't been able to play around too much with the microphone since switching over, but if I could get that. If I need to add any filters or anything like that, just let me know. Hey, what's going on? Sounds good. Okay, awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, one thing I didn't do is I'll be streaming this in at 30 FPS instead of the normal 60. I guess I forgot to hit the 60 when setting this up, but shouldn't make a difference. Make sure everything is turned on right. I'm gonna let a couple people get in here before we get going here. But pretty much what we're gonna be doing is hopefully we get Flake set up. I need to set up Git with. I just made a new Git repository for my Nix stuff. So I want to get Flake set up. I want to get Home-Manager set up, and we need to get Emacs somewhat set up. I do need a decent text editor that has a decent, a decent config already going. I guess we can kind of get going here. What's up, man? All right. Looks like we are good. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go ahead and make this repository, or I'm gonna clone it here. Ah, it's gonna ask me for this crap again. All right. Shouldn't is HTTPS. It. Oh. Ah, you know what I might have to do? SSH ask pass. I will actually set this up later. I think I gotta do something to set this up. Um, I don't understand why it's asking though. Yeah, it's not gonna let me. Okay. Maybe if I go ahead and fix the username and stuff, maybe it will. So user.name is Smith1 or now let's see if it asks. And if it does, then I'll seriously just need to do something in my configuration. Forget. But it shouldn't ask. All I'm doing is cloning a repository. Yeah, see, it's still gonna ask. I don't get that. That's super weird. It's because of that that two-factor authentication, I believe. But regardless, I can do that part later. We do need to go ahead and vim into our NixOS and our configuration, and we want to get Emacs set up, like I said before. I'll just do Emacs 29. Now, I will eventually, I'm going to switch over the Emacs stuff from this main configuration right here. I'll be switching that over to Home-Manager, but for right now, I can keep it in the main NixOS configuration. And so I need NixOS. And because I don't want to have to do this later, I need GIMP, and that's for something much later. Emacs 29. We might have to edit this file again. Anyway. So I can do rebuild, switch. And I gotta fix those, that error, well, that warning. So, how's everyone else doing? So we got Emacs 29.1. And I can go ahead and I'm going to set this, well, first I'm going to copy over my my dot files. Let's see if there's an Emacs.d. What's up, Darth? Just setting up Emacs, dude. I'm just gonna use my Emacs.d file right now, and then eventually, like I was telling everyone else, I will. We're gonna take this stuff later, and I'm gonna switch it over to Home-Manager. Um, if I can, if we can get it going. Mostly just listening while you clean the kitchen. Hey, man, I appreciate it. Pretty sure I can do that. And then we could just run Emacs. and it's going to download a crap ton of stuff. So while this clones, I do apologize if the stream stutters or anything like that. It's cloning everything I have pretty much. Another thing I didn't do is I did not set, which I will later. Eventually, also I need. There's a way that you can set the Emacs daemon to automatically run in your actual NixOS configuration file. All right, let's see. Non-existent agenda file. Oh, okay. It's griping. So I think it's because I need a org. Yeah, let's see if it continues to gripe here. It is griping at me because I don't have a agenda.org. Okay. Touch agenda.org. Okay. Now it should not complain about anything except vterm. And the vterm thing, I don't even care about right now. And it won't do that anyway because it needs CMake and make and all that stuff. And unfortunately, that is not how Nix works. But there is a way to get the vterm stuff going properly. I think you have to do it in you have to do something in your configuration. Oh, for anyone that's here and you're new or you might be new to the NixOS thing. So pretty much 3 or 4 days ago, I checked out NixOS on a live stream. I liked it. I've been watching a ton of videos, like tutorials and all that stuff. And I've been talking to Darth here about it. Well, last night, I was looking at my partitions, and I noticed I had a empty partition. And I had about 250 gigs free. So I was like, you know what? I was like, I could install Nix OS on that empty partition. That way, we can actually check out NixOS on bare metal. Now, the cool thing about NixOS also is that, we can just write these configurations right now. And then if I ever decide that I want to move away from Gen 2 or whatever, then, the work will just be done for us, right? So that's kind of the hope. I don't know fully for sure if I am going to switch away from Gen 2. There's a possibility that I could have Gen 2 installed and Nix installed at the same time. But as of today, I have them both installed, and I'm able to just switch back and forth. So that is the That is the plan. I wonder why this font thing is not... I don't understand how come it's griping about this font. It shouldn't. We have the nerd fonts installed. Read me. Yeah, we have nerd fonts and all this stuff, so we shouldn't be getting any weird errors or anything. Have I checked out Geeks? No, I haven't. But I watch a guy named System Crafters here on YouTube, and he does like a lot of live streaming stuff about Emacs, and that's what he uses. But I do know Geeks or Gikes, however you say it, is a lot like NixOS in the fact that you have a store and all of that stuff. Honestly, I'm pretty new to distributions that's like this. This is it's probably one of the funnest but most different distro I've ever used ever, and that's kind of why I've been watching videos about it, and I keep coming back and forth, is because it's so damn different, you know, and to me, different is a good thing, you know. So I'm looking for my fonts here. I'm gonna see if I can just fix this error super fast. I don't understand. So it should be in here. Yeah. Yeah, I figure. Yeah, that guy is. I'm telling you what, like, he knows his shit about Emacs. He knows more about Emacs than I'll probably ever know. He's insane. I mean, he makes really good content too, but just saying, like, you know, it's pretty good. It's great thing about this Ubuntu font, isn't it? Let's make sure I have... so we can do a FC list grep Ubuntu. I have the Ubuntu nerd font. I mean, you can see it right there. The Ubuntu nerd font installed. I don't know why it's griping. Now I can change this. So what I could do, we can go ahead and change it just right now. So it stops, you know, it stops. So I'll change it to JetBrains Mono nerd font, just like everything else pretty much. Let me write this. Quit, and then let's see if it continues to gripe. Alright, so it just cloned some other stuff. Alright. So I think it just general just got in okay. So dashboard. So everything looks like it's kind of working a little bit better. All right, cool. So we got that. The next thing that we need to do is I need to figure out how come my new repo is not cloning, because it should clone. Darth, maybe you can help me out with this. I'm trying to clone my repo. I wonder if it's because I have it set to private. maybe if I yeah, let me try to set this to public, and maybe it'll allow me to clone it then. All right, get clone. Cool. There it is. So there's there. That's pretty much my clone of this repo. So what we're going to do is, let me go ahead and just get out Emacs super fast because I don't need it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take every single Nix file, all right, and we're just going to throw them in this this repo. So NixOS, and then I'll just say .nix. I'm trying to think if I'm going to need to get into that configuration. Actually, before we do that, we need to make sure that we're going to do that in a second. But let's make sure that we have let's get Home-Manager installed, and let's get Flakes installed. And then we can copy over these Nix files into this repo. The hell? All right. So let me get Flakes. So I'm just going to write something right here. And I'll say enable flakes. And we do it with Nix.settings .experimental -features equals, and then we put Nix command and then flakes. Pretty sure. Okay. And if you guys don't know what flakes are, I'm going to try to explain this super fast. So flakes, it allows you the ability to control what versions of certain programs are installed on your system. It will pretty much handle your configuration for you, like your configuration file. Like it can, you can actually use a flake to read the configuration file and to read Home-Manager, and it like ties in everything together. It's really hard to explain what kind of what it is, but it provides a lot of good stuff. You can read about it on the NixOS wiki about flakes, but this is one of the biggest features in NixOS, and this really is what allows it to be reproducible. So since we got Flake set up, now we gotta get Home-Manager set up. And Home-Manager, what Home-Manager is, Home-Manager it controls your program's configuration stuff. Essentially, that's what it does. That's all it does. And the reason we put all of this in a GitHub or GitLab or whatever you got into a Git repository is because Git can talk to these .nix files in a certain way, and pretty much like if you go to it will make sure that all of your Nix files are kind of are in there, right? So let's say that you wrote a module or something for Nix. So we'll call it module.nix, okay? But you forgot to add it to the repo, but you added the module itself into like your configuration.nix or your homemanager.nix. Git will not allow you to put it on the GitLab or whatever without adding it to the repo first. It'll spit out an error and tell you that you need to stage that .nix file before you can do any sort of update. So that's pretty cool. It helps you actually. Alright, I'm on the Home-Manager thing over here. I'm just looking at the installation. Alright, standalone installation. So this is where I gotta kind of be careful a little bit. Now, I am running unstable right now. If anybody wants to know, I'm running unstable. And the reason I'm really running unstable is simply because I run a NVIDIA graphics card, and 3 days ago, apparently NVIDIA, I don't know if they broke it or the NixOS package system broke it. Regardless, the NVIDIA driver was broke on stable. So I had to actually wait. I waited last night for like 4 hours, and I had to wait for them to do the rebuild of a unstable package in order to even get my graphics driver working. So that's the only reason I'm running unstable. But in order to install Home-Manager, we have to pick a channel, and then master. Okay, and then we can do a Nix panel update. Okay, and then we do Nix shell Home-Manager a install. That should work. You're thinking of distro hopping? I don't know what to choose. You know. You know. This is bullshit. It is in the search thing. Um. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, I should be able to just install this. Remember what we had to do last time, Darth? Didn't I have to like relog or something? Oh, next show. Next channel. Next show. Home-Manager is not found in the next search path. All right, I'm reading, figuring it out. Someone said echo the next path. All right, try to do this as a normal user. Next channel. Add. Next channel update. Unpacking channels. Okay. Next shell. Because I really don't want to have to relog. Home-Manager. Alright, I know what I gotta do. This kind of sucks, but I have to quickly just relog. I think the only thing I gotta do is just go back to the. I don't think I have to like restart or anything. Because we was having this problem the other day. But I'll be back in like 2 minutes tops. All right, I'm back, and as you can see, got it installed. Moving everything over again. I do apologize about that, guys. Hopefully, you guys can still see everything. How's this? How do I sound? Do I still sound pretty good? Trying to get the. Everything's fine? Alright. Yeah, I do apologize about that. Your internet is not? Boo! Boo! Alright, let me, I can't believe it. So that's kind of weird. That's one thing about Home-Manager that sucks, right? Is that if something's not in your path, then you had to, had to relog or whatever. But you can see that we got Home-Manager installed right here. I just ran this command. That's the only thing I've done just to make sure that it was going to work. Now, what this actually does is it will put a file in config Home-Manager, and it's called home.nix. And if we vim into that home.nix, this is the contents of home.nix. So pretty much, it has what version of the system that you're on. It has home packages, and these packages, these are user control packages, whereas the packages that was in the configuration.nix, they was system wide. Now, we can do a lot of cool stuff with Home-Manager, but this is the basic, pretty much the basic file Now what I do need to do, so make sure I think I got Flakes installed. I'm gonna have to run that NixOS rebuild. Just to make sure that the Nix Flakes are going. Okay. Now what I should be able to do is copy all of these .nix files and stick them into my repository. So I'm going to go ahead and just move this one because I don't need it there. Okay. And I'm going to copy the other ones. So NixOS times.nix. Okay. So we had that one. Now, there's going to be one more that we have to make. And that's the flake.nix. So I'm going to go ahead and just touch flake.nix, stick it in there. I'm going to go ahead and add everything to the repo here. So get add, get status. Okay. So everything's added. Now we can do some stuff with Emacs. And I'll just open up that flake.nix file. Now let me pull up some. I will have to pull up some stuff on this. I've only wrote a flake one time, so do bear with me a little bit. All right, a flake essentially has three different parts. It has a description, so we can write description, and this just tells what this flake is, right? So we can do description, and then I'll just say my first flake. There's a input, then there is a output, and essentially this is how a flake is. All right. So the input, what the input is the input is like it might be the GitHub stuff or the GitLab stuff. and the output would be like your configuration.nix file, for instance. All right. So for input, I hope I do this right. Pretty sure it's I know it needs to go down there because there's a lot of stuff that we have to write right here, and we write. I think it's Nix. Nix packages.url equals equals GitHub NixOS Nix packages pkgs Nix NixOS unstable. We can also do this flake will also handle Home-Manager for us as well. So we have to put our Home-Manager stuff there too. So it's Home-Manager.url GitHub Nix community home.manager. And one of these has to have. I'm gonna have to get a guide over here. All right. Another thing about these flakes, or another thing about Home Manager has to be whatever your Nix package URL is. So if you're running unstable for the Nix package URL, then you want to make sure that homemanager.url also points to the unstable branch, which would be master for us. And then we can do home manager dot inputs dot nix packages dot follows equals nix pkgs. I'm pretty sure that's it for the input section. Output section's a little bit different though. We can do outputs equals, and then we can say NixOS on configurations equals. I'll go ahead and close this just so I make sure I don't forget here. And we could do I need my host name. Ghost Nix. So this is going to be Ghost Nix. You need to have this as your host name, or your host name, and then lib.nixOS system. System equals x86 64-Linux and modules equal configuration.nix. And I'm pretty sure this is the syntax. But we have a problem, is this lib, we can't reference this library like this. We have to put it up here. So we'll have to inherit a couple of different things. Way we do this is we can do self nix packages dot dot dot. And we can do let. So we're going to let something in. So we can do let lib equals nix packages dot lib. And then right here we say in. I misspelled description. Sure the hell did, didn't I? Thanks, Darth. Oh, I did it again. Alright. So, the way that this works is you have your description, right? This is going to be your input. Like, what is your... what's your input? And of course, our input is going to be this Nix package URL. Okay. The output of this will be the configuration.nix. Now, this right here, I forgot what this is called. I forgot what this is called, but this right here, what we're saying is we're going to let this lib, or let this library in NixOS configurations. So we're letting this variable right here inside here. If we did not do that, we wouldn't be able to use lib right here. I hope that makes sense. It's a little hard and it's a little confusing. I'm still learning the language, so like I said, bear with me a little bit. But that's kind of the way I understand it. Also, we don't need the home manager stuff quite yet. So I am going to, I'm just going to put a pound sign in front of it. Simply because we, when I start doing the home manager stuff, then I'll do that. Actually, we're going to do that now. You're tempted to go back to Nix? Hey, dude, it's... like, this stuff is kind of cool. Oh, man, like, this is confusing. I mean, I've got, like, 5 tutorials open and all of this goopy stuff, you know, like, it's confusing. But, you know, pretty cool. So let me get a home manager tutorial open. And then I'll show you how we actually, like, we use the flake to update the system, not the old way. That's confusing. Alright, so we come down here, and we now, instead of the NixOS configuration, we have a home configuration. So home configurations equal and then we do our, I think it's our username. So Chris equals home hyphen manager dot lib dot home manager configuration some more squigglies, and then we'll do a inherit pkgs, and then modules equals home.nix. This looks right. Oh, but it's not. Alright. It's not right. Well, it mostly is, but not all the way. So, up here, we need to make some more variables. So, we can just do pkgs equals nix packages dot legacy packages dot system equals x86 64 Linux. So what this does is, you gotta think of it like this. We're defining some variables, everything, right? We're going to let these variables inside of these functions right here. And then what this is saying, hey, I'm going to inherit this packages or pkgs. So essentially what this is saying, hey, I'm going to inherit Nix packages legacy package.system x86 64. Another way we can kind of write this is we can do system equals xf or x86 underscore 64 hyphen Linux. Okay, and then we can also do like a shorthand right here. And it's .sys. Okay, and now when we so what this is like a special syntax. This is just using this variable right here, and because it's in the same scope, we don't have to inherit anything. It knows about it. Okay, but we have to put the $sign. That's the special syntax. And because we have this system right here, but we also have a system up here, right? Well, we can do the same thing that we did down here. We can inherit right? We can inherit system. Same thing we did right here. We're going to do it right here. Except we're going to inherit this one, we're inheriting x86-64, where this one we're inheriting this. Now, if everything goes well, should be able to do this this rebuild. Okay. So get status. We need to get add. Okay. We're good. And then we can do a home manager. So we can do home manager. Home manager. So home manager rebuild. I think it's home manager rebuild. Or home manager switch. Flake. We now give everything a flake option. Dot. And this says, hey, with the home manager, I misspelled switch, but home manager will outputs. All right, we got an error. It's okay. I knew I was gonna get something. It's not output, it's outputs. Yeah. Is it inputs as well? It is. It's inputs. Okay. So it's outputs and inputs. My bad. I got like 20 things going on, but that's all right. So get add flake. Okay. Now we should be able to switch it. And there we are. So the flake works. When it works, it also has a lock file. So we can look at the flake.lock. And you can see with the lock file, you can see the hashes for any package that you you had installed or anything like that. You can see the hashes. You can also see that it says git tree home Chris my NixOS is dirty. It's saying that it's dirty, and the reason it's saying it's dirty is because we haven't done any commits or anything like that. So git, what is it? Git commit minus m. My first commit. Okay. Git status. Git commit added flake.lock. So git status. Alright, working tree is completely clean. So if we did that home, if we did the home manager switch to the flake again, now you see we don't get any of those errors, or we don't get any of those things. So this would be how you would upgrade your system on a user level. But let's talk about how we would do it system level, right? Because we have we also have the system stuff. Pretty much the same exact way that we did it before, except we would do sudo NixOS rebuild switch, and now we do // flake dot. What? Doesn't represent an absolute path. Alright, there's something going on with my flake. Because it should. Doesn't represent an absolute path. Check the flake again. Ah. Okay. Get rid of the quotations. Now let's try. Or get status. Got it. We have to add it every time, or it's going to it will complain. Alright, so sudo NixOS rebuild switch flake dot. And you can see though. No, I know what I did wrong. But you can see that it works, right? That's kind of how flakes work. Now, like I said, that's a very basic flake, and I'm not the, not the world's greatest programmer here, but essentially, this is how you write a flake. What's cool about this, though, is that, like, if you wanted to have different profiles, so maybe you wanted a work profile, right? You can set this up to, so that way when you say, hey, switch to work profile, it would pull in all your work stuff. Or, hey, this is my home profile. you know, yeah, it's super cool. What else is super cool is that we now have a, you know, we have our GitHub stuff, right? We can even do something called modules. Modules are super cool. So if you guys have ever seen anyone's like GitHub or GitLab and they run NixOS and they've been running NixOS for a long time, you may have seen, I don't know, about 50 different Nix, Nix things, right? Nix configurations. And it might have different names like flake configuration, blah blah blah, right? The names doesn't matter. But how are they? All they're doing is taking all of this stuff, this configuration.nix, and they're breaking it down. They're making everything into more manageable configurations. Because eventually, what happens is your configuration.nix and your home-manager.nix gets so long, and I don't know about you guys, but I hate shifting through 200 lines of code just to find one thing. It sucks. So you can actually break all of this stuff down into and kind of micro manage it. And we can look at the configuration.nix, and you might say, well, how do we do that? Right? How do we break it down? Well, see this imports right here? Imports equals and then import. If I made, yeah, it's like JavaScript modules. If I made another .nix file right here, I would just import it right there. But we can also do a directory kind of structure and all of that stuff too. All right, give me 2 minutes tops. I need to run and use the restroom, and then I'll answer anybody's questions when we get back. I am back. All right. Am I using the daemon? Uh, no, and I need to add that. Good call out. Good call out. So it looks like the way that I don't think you can set the daemon part of it though on Home-Manager. You have to do it in the configuration.nix file. Even though I don't know. It's so weird. I don't understand how come you can't do that. But I do want to go ahead and enable it. So I can go ahead and enable it here. Just to make it run a little bit faster. That's the old-fashioned way. And still wants that V term. Yeah, that's how I'm going to do it too. The system D service. Okay, Ben. Ain't that serious, bud. Think you're taking it a little too serious, but let's get H-top going. So PyCom's running. Here's a weird thing. So PyCom's running, but I'm not getting transparency in my Emacs. And that's a little weird because I should get transparency. Yeah, because we have transparency right there. I mean, Ben, if you don't want to use it, you don't have to use it, dude. No one's like... no one's putting a gun to your head. I said that you should have used it because I thought it would help you. Seems that you, for whatever reason, can't stop RFing your root directory. How that keeps happening, I'll never know. But so I thought it would help you in that regard. But yeah, if you don't want to use it, don't use it. I don't care. Yeah, that should work, Darth. I don't understand how come it's not working. Now I got PyCom going, but I don't have an actual config for it. I mean that I can. I'll mess with that later, I guess. Let's go ahead and get. Let's go ahead and get our flake stuff. And we need to write our configuration. So let's go ahead and set up the Emacs daemon. And maybe switch over Emacs 29 to using Home-Manager instead. I installed PyCom with Nix. I didn't. I haven't even set it up yet. You usually do the regular config and it works. Okay. All right. I'll keep that in mind. I have a config. It's not. Pretty sure I have a config. Well, left qtile. No, I don't. Thought I had a PyCom config. I'll just have to get one. You could activate conf mode for conf mode. Okay. Oh, nice. Okay. So I guess I can put the Emacs stuff down here. Yeah, let's go ahead and write something. Just call this Emacs daemon. And it's services.emacs. Enable equals true. And package equals pkgs packages.emacs. That should work. All right. We have our. All right. Now we have it in daemon mode. I can go and could do a get status again. And of course, it's modified. Okay. They're staged. Oh yeah, shit, you're right. You're right. Oh, yeah. Okay, that's it. No. I have the Emacs 29 version. We're running. See. See, I'm running 29.1. With the services.emacs, does it have to be .services.emacs 29? Or does it, or can it just, as long as the package is correct? Ben, the purpose of doing a system like this is reproducibility. Alright, I'm going to give you a scenario, Ben. You have 30 computers. 30. Okay, imagine you have 30 computers. Would you rather write one configuration file for those 30 computers and everything works, or do you want to go to each individual computer and write 30 different things? That's why systems like this exist. And it's so I write one configuration file, and even if my system breaks today, in 15 minutes I could have my system back up in the same exact state that it was at when it broke. You can't do that with any other distro. That's why this is actually pretty cool. Is because you write one configuration, one. So you do the work one time. And everything from here on out just works. And it doesn't matter who you give it to. It'll work on my machine, it'll work on your machine, it'll work on Darth's machine. That's why these type of systems are, yeah. And you also have rollback features. You have rollback features built in without ButterFS. But that's what the hype is about. Now I'll admit it's a steep learning curve. It is steep. I'll admit that because even I've scratched my head quite a few times. But if you get past it, then the benefit is that my hope is that I put this on GitHub or GitLab or whatever, and it doesn't matter 5 years from now if I want to be like, hey, I want to check out that NixOS again that I was using. I could pull down my configuration and, it would still work. Whereas in a standard Linux distribution, like Gentoo, Arch, whatever. Oh, and it also, another cool thing about this is dependencies. You don't have to worry about dependencies. Like, I have not one time have I said, oh, what's Pipewire depend on? What's Emacs depend on? You don't have to worry about it. Because the package manager is smart enough to figure it out for you. Yeah. Alright. So we got that. So that's written out, that's done. So if we switch to 4, let me do a get status. So we can do a git. Let's just go ahead and do a small commit here. All right, that's cool. Yeah. Some packages have built-in, which I'm going to show here in a second. As soon as okay, so let's go ahead and do the Nix rebuild. So we do the sudo nix rebuild, NixOS rebuild, switch flake dot. Gonna evaluate everything. I need to get rid of that damn. It's a warning sign. It's not error, but I need to get rid of it. See? All right, cool. So Emacs is now in daemon mode. But what I want to do is I want to switch over Emacs from system configuration to a user level using Home-Manager. So let me two. Yep. So we'll call this, we just called it home.nix. Let's do meta x conf mode. All right. So we have home.packages, whatever, right? Like we can stick it right here. I wonder. I think. All right, we're going to. I'm not gonna make a module yet. I need to read a little bit, but we can still use Home-Manager. And I'll keep this stuff right here. So, home.packages. We can do I'm gonna have to take it out of the configuration after this. But we can do program dot Emacs .29 equal enable equals true Pretty sure this is the way to do it anyway. Package. It's the same exact way that we did it in the other one. Package equals package dot Emacs 29. And now if we wanted, so here's the extra config stuff. So we could do extra config, and we could put whatever we wanted to right here. Just to test it out, we'll do set queue, standard indent 2. All right, let's go ahead and write that. But first, I want to take out the from the configuration.nix file. I want to take out Emacs because I don't want to install like this. So we wrote it. di home.nix, and let's see if this works right here. Okay. Get status. Remember, we have to actually it's dirty, but it'll still work because it's no, get add just dot, and then we'll do Home-Manager switch flake dot. That was not it. That was not it, but we're getting there. But it is cool because it tells you the exact error that you need, that you have right here. So it says, hey, syntax error, unexpected, boom, right here, right? Is it programs or program? Packages. Packages dot. Okay, hold on. Maybe it's. It's still complaining about that damn equal sign, ain't it? Yeah, I don't understand why it's complaining about this equal sign. Try this. All right. It's griping about the semicolon. Okay. It's griping about this semicolon right here. We're getting closer here. All right. How about well, evaluate blah blah blah, evaluating boo boo boo. Uh, built in. It's not a type package. Definition values. Okay. All right. Well, programs dot pkgs dot emacs 29. Try that. Home packages. Add the hello command to your environment. Prints are friendly, blah blah blah. So this is just pkgs dot hello. All right. I tell you what, I ain't gonna write. All right. There's also a different way that we can write this up here too. So now we should just be able to write right here, Emacs 29. Pretty sure. Yeah. So that's the same exact thing. I mean, we're getting the same error. But it's saying it's not of type package. Home.packages is not a type. I wonder if it's complaining about this extra config thing. Yeah. Package equals Emacs 29.1. Do I have to specify, I wonder? Package equal packages. This is how everyone else, I see everyone else's config does it. I don't understand. I'm looking for it because I know this is how you do it. Equals true. All right. Let's see. I'm gonna see if Ropey installs right here. There's Ropey. Yeah. There's Ropey. I don't understand how come it's not it's not installing via the home manager. Yeah, I don't understand. I'll have to play around with it a little bit. So one more thing I need to check out here. So we got Rofi installed. I won't have Emacs again unless the configurations stuff. I wonder if that's doing it too. The system D stuff. Not sure. Um, look at Towers thing. Because he's got like a NeoVim. Alright. There's one more thing I can try. We can do it maybe right here. I'll just say enable.true or enable equals true. And package equals pkgs packages dot emacs 29. All right, I think. See, it doesn't want to. It doesn't want to do that line. You see that? If I switched it from that's so goofy. All right, I got it. That's so damn. That's weird. That's so weird. If you're gonna do it in Home-Manager, you don't put the Emacs 29. That's where I was screwing up at. This worked. This worked fine, and it was Emacs 29. What's up, Green Flash? I tell you what, I want to get rid of. Also, I want to get rid of the stupid B term thing. Um. I think we can get rid of vterm in our little Emacs thing right here too. I think. Let's see. I copied over some code. With Emacs with package epkgs. See if this works. I don't know. No. What? NixOS.com. See if the standard indent works. Oh yeah, extra config, extra config. Okay. See if that works. Sweet. That does work. What config is this, and what am I preparing this for? This is my config, and I'm just I'm just messing around. I'm getting some of the stuff done now that I eventually may, if I ever do switch over to Nix full time, then I want to have some, a starting ground. But I do think this is pretty good. It's not perfect. We got a lot done. And I'm pretty happy about that. Let me make sure that my stop, or let me update everything. Get status. So get at home, and then we can do sudo NixOS rebuild switch flake dot. I gotta fix that, but that's alright. Cool. Yeah, so that's it. Everything pretty much, you know, a lot more, just a lot more stuff that needs to happen in order for this to be any sort of like, um, you know, I'm not going to deploy this or anything right now, but I am working on it, and I'm going to continue to work on it because that was a lot of fun. We got Flakes installed, we got Home-Manager installed. The next time I do anything like this, we will probably start making modules because eventually that's how I want to do it. Is I want everything to be nice and small. I don't want a 1,000-line configuration file or anything stupid. I just want like a small configuration file, and that'll be done. And we got Home-Manager, so now most of the applications that that I'm going to be using on a system, I don't need them system wide. It's just user wide is fine with me. And yeah, I'm going to probably work on this a little bit more. I want to get that B term error message gone from Emacs. So that's the next thing I'm going to work on. But I do want to thank everyone for stopping by. This was pretty awesome. And until next time, you guys take care, be safe, and peace.